So Daro is a very versatile and relatively new position, one that allows for so much creativity and variety in the different events and initiatives in how you can uphold the academic and pre-professional pillar. So two parts to this. What's something that you would like to pioneer within this position? One within the alumni perspective of it and one within the academic and pre-professional aspect of it with the students.
Yeah, thank you for that question. As for the academic and pre-professional, I talked about it a bit in my speech, but I wanted to create an academic bulletin, which it highlights on-campus events, any internships and job postings, research assistantships, and personal studies or projects that need participation in. I hope to get that out through platforms such as Instagram, Slack, and through the newsletter. And as for, you said
So it was alumni and academic and pre-professional, yeah.
Yes, yes. Okay. As for the alumni panel, I did want to create, I don't know if y'all have heard of Ned's Declassified Survival Guide, School Survival Guide. I kind of wanted to create one of those and allow Kasamas, or allow alumni to talk about, I guess, their experiences like in this org and also balancing it with like school work and personal life and just, you know, like what kinds of advice they want to give to like their freshman selves or like current students. So talking about like what are like I don't know, like places to eat after PCN and FG practices late at night or something like it doesn't have to be like super serious, just something that, you know, Kasamas would want and things that, you know, they would need.
Understanding that our alumni come from a wide range of backgrounds, unique interests, and needs is crucial for effective outreach. How would you gather and incorporate feedback from our alumni to tailor your strategies and ensure that your initiatives resonate with a diverse audience?
As for gathering alumni feedback, I did mention that I wanted to continue using our email roster and the alumni newsletter to individually reach out to alumni, but I also wanted to expand to LinkedIn and Facebook just so that there's a broader, I can cater to a broader audience. And I'm hoping that through these avenues that I'm able to gain insight from a variety of alumni from different career paths that are like different spaces like geographically and just making sure that I'm not targeting like a specific, I'm only speaking to like one demographic and that I'm, yeah, I guess just able to cater to everybody. And I guess I have to start with asking membership like what they want to hear from, like what kinds of alumni, what are like alumni from like different backgrounds like that they want to hear about that, you know, might relate to their experiences that they're going through right now.
How do you plan to bring alumni back into this space?
I talked about it a bit. One of the ways was continuing the post-grad alumni panel that we had from last year's camp. I thought it was really insightful to have alumni not only that went to USF, but they were a part of Kasamahan, and even some of them sit on Kasamahan board. I think being able to talk to them, or not only like hearing from them, but being able to talk to them and ask them about their experiences was sorry.
Yeah. How do you intend to bring them back into this space?
Yeah. So I think like, sorry, back to what I was saying, the panel would allow them to be here physically, but even if they can't, initiatives such as the Kaleidoscope or the Declassified Kasama Survival Guide allows them to be here even if they can't be physically present, still allowing them to be visible and accessible to the space and Columbine or through other things. Yeah.
As mentioned before, Daro is a very versatile position with many opportunities to apply the academic and pre-professional pillars. In what ways will you make the Daro position your own and engage members of Kasamahan to our alumni and your events? I can repeat. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay. versatile position with many opportunities to apply the academic and pre-professional pillars. In what ways will you make the Daro position your own and engage members of Kasamahan to our alumni and to your events?
It's a no, thank you. But, I guess just drawing back on some of the newer ideas that I had, such as like the academic bulletin. I hope that like in that way I can, I guess, act or serve as like a sort of trailblazer and like pave the way for like previous Daros and just other people that will serve as a leader in the space to draw inspiration from.
Yes. In what ways will you make the Daro position your own and engage members of Kasamahan to our alumni and your events?
I do think in full transparency that this pillar, or I guess like the academic and professional pillar, also just alumni engagement, has been historically like something that's been overlooked in the past, which is understandable. Also, this position is fairly new. And so I'm just hoping that membership can engage more with this pillar if I tie my events and integrate it or intersect it with other existing pillars in the space. For example, the conversational study spaces, not only is it like an academic event that is to help Kasamas like seek academic support, like certain classes that they need help with, but also like a bonding event, and so I hope to work with like the ADs or the DOM to make sure that that social pillar is also something that's like integrated. And I think also just like having incentives for certain events, so like gather membership, I think it's really important to think about like if I were in the shoes of a general member, what would I want? And also directly asking membership, like through forms or like verbally asking what they would want out of an event, like what's going to get them to come to an event is what I think will help membership or like gather membership and help them participate in this aspect of our work.
Hi Jordan. My question for you is, what role do you see our alumni playing in the present of the organization and like within the space moving forward?
This was something I definitely talked about at the beginning of my speech, but I do view the alumni as, I guess, something that's like in connection with our PCMP and like I guess our overall thing. Like the alumni have served as like our guiding lights, and they have helped us to get to where we are today. But I don't only want to put them on a pedestal. I also want to see them as people, and they're people, with experiences, and they've been, many of them have been in the same position that we're at, or like very similar. And so I do see them as like, laying down like the groundwork for this work and allowing us to, learn from their lessons and carry on whatever we feel is important on what's yeah.
Hello, my ate. So, as Daro, how would you measure the success of your outreach efforts to alumni? And what steps would you take if engagement levels are lower than expected?
Sorry, can you say it?
Yes, of course. As Daro, how would you measure the success of your outreach efforts to alumni? And what steps would you take if engagement levels are lower than expected?
Yeah, so I would say of course, I think it would be ideal to reach out to as many alumni as possible, but I think it's also important to understand that these alumni, like they have like physically moved on from USF, they have their own lives, and things that they may be dealing with. And so, at least if I can reach out to, okay, I guess it depends on like the events or like opportunities that I have for them. Like if I'm putting on a panel, like hopefully I can reach out to at least like 5 or 10, alumni and allow them to speak here. And hopefully not the same alumni that spoke last year. But yeah, I think it is subjected to like, the events or opportunities that I'm putting on. And as I mentioned earlier, in terms of engagement, if there are lower levels of engagement, I do want to provide those incentives to, get membership to come. Like, for example, for our Kababayan panel, like one of the biggest downfalls was that we just didn't have a lot of members coming. And so I think one way to combat that, if we continue this event going forward, is to send out availability or just like directly asking people like, hey, like when's the best time you think like, would you be interested in going to this panel? If so, like when's the best time for you? And like try to work with them.
Returning for a third year in a row on board, what keeps you going as a leader?
Truly, it is the people that I've met in this space. Ooh, hold on. Sorry. But truly, it is, as I mentioned earlier, the people in this space that I've met that keeps me going. I guess I'm so fortunate that like this space has chosen me as many times as I've chosen it. LOL. I truly do want to serve you all and be, to truly advocate for you all and to, but yeah, truly it is like all the mentors that I've met in this space and even, the ones who like have come after me and like will continue to come after me. It keeps me going to know that like this space has continued to grow and continue to evolve over so many years. But yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and take the last question. It's not as emotional, but Daro is responsible for upholding the academic and professional pillar for Alumni, not just for membership, but also for themselves. How do you plan on uplifting and supporting membership's academic growth and development while also supporting their own?
I guess one of
For sure. How do you plan on uplifting and supporting membership's academic growth and development while making sure that you're also supporting your own?
one idea that I had was to, I guess, cater to like not only membership as a whole, but like focusing on like specific departments and like schools and USF. For me, I am a psychology major and I'm also a white history minor, so I definitely want to have like collaborate more with like the white history department to promote them more. But obviously, I don't want to cater a bias towards like my own academics. And so, as I mentioned earlier, I want to speak to all the membership, understand like, their individual experiences, and be able to cater to their individual needs, and including, supporting them academically and making sure that they have those specific resources for